Well, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from today. We want to say welcome. We want to say that we're excited that you're here. You're taking the time out of your busy schedule to spend time with us. And as we have a guest today, as we normally do, Miss Johanna D. Samuels from St. Croix, the Virgin Islands, and we're happy to have you today. And everyone knows Minister Wanda, and we're happy to have her today. Wanda, take a moment before we get started with Johanna. Well, before you even do that, let me do what I normally do. I'm trying to move so fast. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. I just want to say welcome to everybody. I'm so happy you're here. If you're sitting on the side of your bed or you're sitting, um, you hadn't even got out the bed this morning. When you look in the mirror, I don't want you to see the things that make you sad. I don't want you to see the wrinkles in your face or any of that stuff. I want you to see what the creator has created. And I want you to know that he has created you beautifully. And because he has created you beautifully, we're happy you're here. We ask that you would just continue to seek his face and find out what he desires of you. So let me start with, or let me continue with, welcome to Leslie. My name is Leslie Montgomery. This is LKM Kingdom Living, Leslie's Lessons Learned, and we're excited to be here today. And I want you to know that if you're not looking ahead, and or say you're depressed, then you're living in the past. If you're anxious, you're living in the future. And if you are at peace, you are living in the present. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to live within the presence. My sister said a quote yesterday, and I want to leave you with this quote. If you're not feeling the best or you're sad, and when she said it, I said, "Oh, can I use that?" She was like, "Yes, not mine." And she said, "A life without you is like a world without colors."
Mm.
And I want to encourage you today that a life without you would be a life without color or a world without color. We need you. We want you to continue to thrive. We want you to continue to live. We want you to continue to understand that whatever you're going through is not the end of the world. There is a greater plan for you. Yahweh has a greater plan for you. And in that plan, it consists of you living. So as you go through your day today, when you look at yourself, when you're just sitting on the side of the bed and you're thinking, begin to think about who you are. Begin to think about why you were created. You were created for a purpose, and your purpose has a destiny. And if you're thinking about why are you living, you have not reached your destiny. And after you reach your destiny has a purpose. So you still have a lot of work to do. So I want to encourage you to live. I want you to encourage you to live. I want you to say this morning, I want to live. I want you to come in agreement with yourself and live an abundant life. Wanda, so happy you're here this morning. Tell us about yourself.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, depending on what part of the world you're in. It might be even good evening. My name is Wanda Floyd. I am the owner and CEO of uh, Wanda L. Floyd Academy and the Brains and Beauty Business Academy, where we teach beauty industry professionals to do business better. I am a mother. I'm an author. I am a cosmetology instructor, and I've been a licensed hair care professional for 30 years. Absolutely love my industry, and I do a little bit in ministry. So I'm just happy to be here this morning.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for supporting me. As we support the people that come in. I want to say, I see Auntie Roz is on today. Johanna, she must have come to see you. She's on today. Hey, Auntie Roz, Ashley, and Anna, and Michelle, thank you guys so much for being here. And whoever else that has not said anything, we want to welcome you and say thank you for being here. Johanna, I'm so excited that you took the time out your busy schedule. Look, let me tell y'all something.
You're
I know
busy.
Johanna from 3 different communities. We worked together in 3 different communities. 1212, we started out in 1212, and then with Tierra, we worked in her community, and then with Doreen Letson Reed, we also worked with her community, and so we've been friends. We finally met this year. What was it, in August? We
In
finally
August.
met. We finally met for the first time in August. Johanna has family right here, not far from me. Hey, Posh, not far from where I live. And she came, her and her daughter came to see me, and I appreciate that so much. Johanna, uh, she has. I'm telling you a story, Johanna. I'll let you tell it, but I'm just so excited for you and all that you have accomplished in these last, I don't know how many years it's been, but you have really blossomed and bloomed. You made history over there in St. Croix, and not only that, you've been traveling all over the world and speaking in Fortune 500 or 400, 500, on the stage for Fortune 500, and you get ready to go to London to receive a reward. Look, girl, I told you I will carry your bags. I will carry your bags. So tell us about what's going on with you, Johanna, before we get into your story.
Oh, that is such a mouthful. Thank you so much, Leslie. And I just want to say I honor our friendship and the community that we have been in. You have listen, yeah, Miss Leslie has become one of my confidence whenever I'm going through some things or need some advice or need prayer or just wanted to just reflect on God's goodness and things that I'm doing. She definitely will be one of those individuals that I would call. So thank you to everyone who is here. As Miss Leslie said, I am originally from the Caribbean island of St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands. I have been married for the last 26 years, and I have three children, which two are living in the ATL, so they're near to Miss Leslie.
Yeah.
Yay! And I started my entrepreneurial journey actually September of 2008. So I actually had my 15th year anniversary, and I started out in beauty, fashion accessories. But let me say, I was working a government job, and I worked that job for about 2 years. And as I sat at my desk, I just felt, there was something more, and just individuals around me. Let me just go ahead and be honest. The Oprah Winfrey Network, Oprah would always talk about living your best life. So I took that definitely to heart. And God was speaking to me a long time. And I planned my business accordingly. And I opened up my accessory boutique, fashion accessory, because I love fashion. I love the outer layer of a woman just looking good. And because of that business, At a Touch Accessories, it definitely led me in a space where I communicated with women on a different level beyond the out of fashion. I got to hear a lot of in-depth stories of women's desires and their dreams and their goal and their vision. And little did I know that God was going to use At a Touch Accessory as a vehicle to connect with women beyond the fashion. So again, being honest, I never thought that I would be doing that because I am such an introvert with everything that everyone is seeing and so forth. If I can just do my business behind closed doors, that's what I would do. And I ran from God a long time, and I dibble and dabble. I played a lot of double dutch with him. Those conversations that he's telling me to bring to light now of the things that I used to say and the things I used to do. And, he said, go ahead and tell the people that I told him that he was crazy and I'm not doing it. And all of that. But as many of us would know, I know there's some faith women in here. And Auntie Roz would say, no matter how much we run from our destiny and things that's within, God is going to have his way. And so, therefore, I believe in that word obedience, and obedience led to my peace on so many different levels. So, I think I said a mouthful. So, Leslie, you can take it
Tell
from
them about your
there.
book. Tell them
You
about
know,
your book. And
yes,
you're getting ready to go to London. When do you leave?
I leave on Thursday. I leave on
Ah, wow, I
Thursday.
got you just in time.
Yes, yes. So being in different rooms and meeting other entrepreneurs and other women in business, and having those conversations and going up to someone and saying hello, I've seen you, congratulations and everything that you're doing, and your words register to me, or vice versa. Women will come up to me. So I met Miss Teresa Mosley, and I met her in Detroit about 2 years ago. And of course, the person that I am, when I meet someone, I would always, try my best to stay in touch. As you know this, I will reach out just to inbox, just to say hello, how you doing, or congratulations, Merry Christmas, Happy Mother's Day, whatever it may be. So I stayed in touch. And that's important. I've come to learn that when we are in certain environments, it's always good to reach back out. And so I did that. And little did I know, with different organizations that she's in, she nominated me for a women's empowerment with everything that she has been seeing me doing and so forth. So I will be receiving the Women's Heart Award, Women's Development Icon Award. And I'll be meeting an array of women from all over the world who is meeting up in London for the
In
conference.
London.
Yes,
Can
in London.
not here. She can't, win an award over here. She has to go all the way to London to receive a reward. That's awesome. And tell us about your history that you have just accomplished over there in St. Croix.
Your words, Miss Leslie. You love on me so hard. I mean, ooh, sometimes it's like smothering. I love it. But thank you so much for embracing me the way that you do and encouraging me. So of course, Miss Leslie spoke about recently that her and I was a
Oh
part of
yeah, we was.
an anthology.
That's
It was
right.
called the Confident Woman Rise with Miss Doreen Lestrom Reed.
Mhm.
And oh God, Leslie, when you talk about the story being so rich, I mean, please, you got to keep a leash on me sometimes, because I may be all over with the stories that I
I'm gonna
share.
read you in a minute. Go ahead.
You see what you're thinking. So the Confident Woman Rise. I had my boutique in the Virgin Islands for about 13 years, and after a major hurricane, God said, "Let it go, shut it down. You have done all that you can do." And after that hurricane in 2017, I did so in 2019, not knowing 3 months later was the pandemic. So with that being said, that happened in the nick of time. I like to say that God, my mom always says, my Caribbean mom from the island of Antigua, God sees and he knows all. She would always, say that. I would always hear her say that. So I was obedient. And with that being said, 3 months later was the pandemic. And I was invited to be a part of the Confident Woman Rise anthology. And of course, Miss Leslie was also in that book. And my chapter, ooh, Leslie, I just opened up the book and it opened
Your
right up to my
chapter.
picture. Ooh, your goddess, ooh. God, he is amazing. I just opened the book and it was right here.
Wow.
And my chapter was called Pivoting Intentionally. And I spoke, started that speaking about being courageous now, and coming from rape as a little girl. And I know we're going to speak a little bit about that later,
Yeah.
my self-esteem and all of that. So with that being said, fast forwarding, here in the Virgin Islands, they have never been, well, to my knowledge, from the research that myself and my partner, co-visionary Vanessa Farrell did, there was not another anthology in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So we collaborated together. Ms. Vanessa and I, we met at a function. The Girlfriendism Retreat that is held here in the Virgin Islands every year and abroad. She's mixing it up. And Miss Vanessa and I engaged in a conversation, and we discovered that we both had this idea. So we collaboratively came together and invited other women to be a part of this book called Passion and Purpose, 21 inspiring stories from women in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And we have an array of amazing business owners and women that have some stories as
Lovely.
to how they got to where they are right now. So that book became a #1 bestseller just like the Confident Woman Rise. So, I'm very proud of this book. And everywhere I go, individuals will, make a comment that the book was so good. And I can't believe Attorney Lydia Molinar, this is what she's been through, but how she turned it around. So, I mean, the stories are tremendously rich. And our authors are going on to do amazing things.
So
Sometimes
how do they get
individuals.
the book? How do they get the
Sorry?
book? How do they get the book?
They get the book on my website. It's also on Amazon, but as you know, the authors are encouraged to share and sell their books on a particular website. For me, is johannadsamuel.com.
Okay. Well, congratulations for all
Thank
that you've
you.
done and how far you've come. How when we met, you wasn't doing any of this. And now look at you. Look
I
at
think
you.
it was there.
It was there. It
It
was
was there.
And then when the time came, you just started blossoming. You stepped into those doors and you haven't stopped.
God's glory. God's glory.
So amazing. So, I've heard your story in the 1212, also in Tierra Destiny's group. And in that, can you tell us about your story? What Because you know why? I want you to tell your story because it wasn't until you came to yourself and forgave that things started opening. So
Mhm.
I want you to just talk about it. Tell us about your story.
Well, the story I would say that you're referring to is for me the act of forgiveness. And when I was a little girl, I was raped. And it is something that I kept. It was never discussed. There was not therapy for it and so forth. My parents did find out that it happened right after, but I wasn't offered any kind of counseling or anything like that. So, with that being said, at 8, 9 years old, is something that I grew with and that I clearly suppressed. And if it reared its head, I just push it back down. I could honestly tell you that I don't have a serious recollection of um, me going through stages of my life and dwelling on it and then putting it away. It would just come up, shut it back down. Of course, I got married at age 25, and I don't have think that I even told my husband at that point. And moving into my 30s and also my business at age 30, 35, it's not only until then that it came up. And I was watching an interview again on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and it just came full throttle. It just came, and I felt that in those moments, I was not. It was not like I was forced to. It just came up, and I felt that for everything that I've been hearing from other people experiences. I am a believer, Miss Leslie, that we learn from other people's experiences. So I really think hearing um, about certain traumas and how others overcame or whatnot, somewhere along the line, it was embedded in me. So when that came up again, it was like, it's okay. And it was time to face what had happened to me.
So you want to tell us how close this person was?
This was my godbrother.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I'm actually saying it.
Okay. And
Actually, forgiving this. But yes, it's actually people have asked or whatnot, but it's actually the first time I've said who it is.
mhm. And how close he lived? How often did you see him?
I'm sitting in my parents' home right now, and the house is right next door. I'm looking on the side, and it's right there. But there was a board house at the end, and that's where that happened. I was lured to that area
Mhm.
because I
So,
remember.
so when I think about your story, and all of us have a story, as we know,
Mhm. Yes.
and some it happened in the house, some it happened next door, some it happened friends, like you said, it was your god brother,
Mhm.
that took advantage of you at such a young age. You had to go through school, with those thoughts you had to go through, all the way up. And how did it make you feel? I guess is that the question I want to
Yeah,
ask?
yeah. Because as you're saying that, I'm remembering how I felt when I look back of my insecurities, my shyness, sitting in the back of the class, not a person to raise her hand in the classroom. I had such loving teachers. I had such loving teachers in elementary school. And I recently told one of my teachers, Miss Lois, she actually works with the Women's Coalition, that the teachers in elementary school, they were like my safe havens because they were just so gentle and so loving. I noticed that I was very, shy and would always, just take such a love and liking to me as a daughter. But regardless of what, I grew with that mentality. Very much an introvert. So I do have this shyness about me, and I could honestly say it's them from there. It did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Were you naturally an introvert, or did this situation kind of cause you to become an
Yeah,
introvert?
I could only remember from that instance. That's when it started. Prior, typical little girl, but from that instance,
Mhm.
I've sat with it, to think about what you just asked me.
Yeah. So I don't know if you have any more questions, Rhonda. Just jump in. When I actually think about it, and I think about being a young girl that had to go through that, and to see this person quite often, all the
Mhm.
time. I don't know if you knew what happened. Did you understand what took place? What happened to you? Was it
At, at,
just one
at that time,
time?
no. And as an adult, and especially when I face that, I have taken those, those moments that I just sit with it, So that's why I'm able to answer this. No, I didn't realize what was happening, at that time. And Miss Leslie, Miss Rhonda, there's so many stories like this. There's so many stories. I'm not the first. We're not the
Right.
first. We're not gonna be. I'm the last, unfortunately. And this is why it's so important to share, talk about it, because But you know what? Let me just refrain from saying that. There's some children now. They will let you know. They will scream. This generation now is not like the generation before. I mean,
Mm,
things still do happen or whatnot, but right, Miss Rhonda, you know,
Yeah,
people ain't.
they're totally different from us. We were,
Mhm.
like you said, shy, afraid. If you told us not to say anything, we
Oh,
would.
they're gonna say something.
Yeah, oh, please. Yeah.
The majority of the time, yes.
yeah.
But we
Um,
still have more individuals to make sure that we are a voice for, because not everyone is like that. I mean, we're further than where we was that in those mentality. But however, we have to be, think about and be vocal for those individuals who can't.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, oh, look, you making it look. I'm used to you just talking, talking, talking. Let me tell y'all something. She is a firecracker. Don't let her fool you. She is a live firecracker. Sometimes she call me and all I could do is laugh because she'd be gone, and I'm like, okay. So, you know, if you never forgave, and the other day when we were talking, and you said you was thinking about taking
Taking a what?
a meal over to him, take something over to him.
Yeah, girl. So I'm still trying to, I'm be very wise. I'm not one of those individuals, maybe in the past, but sometimes things will come up in our minds and say, well, go do this, go do that. Sometimes we gotta step back and say, God, is that coming from you? Is that an enemy, or is that's us? So I'm still sitting with that.
Hmm.
I was in a 4 hours interview for a book, a transcript with Mr. I'm sorry, Tiara Destiny Reed.
That was for You did that for a month, didn't you? Was that a month you did it?
With Tiara
Uh-huh.
and Miss Dr. G.
Uh-huh.
No, that was a 1 day interview. We had it was 4 hours of them just
Okay.
talking to me, asking me questions because I'm gonna write my book. Not necessarily on this, but on life, my experiences, whatnot. Business and everything else. And it was a 4 hours interview right on this chair over here that I'm looking at right here. And so they asked about all of that, you know and I spoke about my mother and how I felt about my parents who found out about this right after. And I was just cleaned up, legs open, cleaned out, and it was never a conversation again after that, you know. And even from my mother has passed on 12 years ago. And if that happened at 8, mommy, we never spoke about that. But as far as my dad would just growing up, he would just remind me, remember what happened to you and so and so.
Wow.
So walking with my neighbors, other little boys and so forth, my friends from school, if he comes home and he see me walking with the other kids or whatnot, he would just remind me, remember what happened with so and so. So that was just a trigger, and he did that
Yeah,
off and on for a few years, off and
that's
on.
like a trauma.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But mommy, we never spoke about it. So in that interview with Tiara and Dr. G, after that interview, I remember I can't remember, I'm sorry, if it was the same day or the next day or whatnot, but I was driving into a particular area where this person is very much still alive. And as I was driving, I saw them and I just smiled.
I
Now,
remember.
before that, I
Mhm.
would see them every so often and I would turn my head or I'll turn my car another way, and it wasn't anger or anything like that. So, although at age 35, I started that forgiveness journey and letting it go, I still had these little moments that I still don't want to be face to face with the individual. And it was okay. I'll just go about, hey, okay, they're there. I'll just turn this way. But
Mhm.
that was the first time right after all of that 4 hours
Wow.
interview that, I smiled and I felt the presence of God over me that, you know, all is well, my daughter, and it felt so good. And even to this day, even right now, let me go back and say this also. I think even before that interview, a friend and I was having breakfast and the person passed by and they asked for money if we had some change or what have you. They're still coherent, but they passed by and they asked, and my friend, we're having breakfast, it was outside on the balcony, and she said no, not at this time. But he had no idea that it was me. If he sees my face, because I still have the same face from back then, no change, no major change, but he would have recognized me. But I knew it was him, and he was standing right there. And then after he passed, I shared it with my girlfriend, and she could not believe it. I mean, she just stopped eating, you know, and so forth. But I'm not in that space.
So is he homeless? He begging for things? Is that what you're saying?
No, I want a homeless because he is in a home at the same time, but they're still able to walk and do different stuff or whatnot. People do things for different reasons, but yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
How did you feel at that moment when he was there in your presence and asking you guys for money? How did you feel having him that close?
For a moment, for a moment, I felt tight, but I didn't feel tight that entire time. It was tight, but then it was released because I felt that you know transition of me letting it go, it already started to happen prior. For
Mhm.
me, it seems that it happened in stages. It's tight, then you lose, then you lose, then you lose, then you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I have to be honest, as I'm listening to your story, um, the way this happened to you, and then still having to have him in your surroundings
Mm.
all the time, all I can see is for some people, this would have been tremendously traumatic for them and the effects that it would have had on them. But I can tell, even from a little girl, even though this happened, there was still a Yahweh Sabaoth around you, your protection. He still
Mm.
protected you so that it didn't affect you in the way that it could have affected you. And I think that's amazing.
Thank you so much for saying that. And as you just made that comment, whew, as you made that comment, it was like, wow, that's exactly what it is, because mommy and daddy wasn't there. You know, parents back then, we have always heard that they only know how to handle certain things, and maybe they didn't know how to handle it. And then my parents being from the Caribbean and so forth, I don't know if that's something that they have seen a sibling, a friend, or what have you. But I will always have that memory that I was cleaned up and never to speak about it again. That's the part that really sticks out to me too. Saying no and walking back over, being sent back over to my home, and then being cleaned up and never to talk about it again. Those are the things that stick out to me.
Yeah, that's hard. That's trauma, and trauma affects people different ways. And even though you like Minister Wanda said, you were protected, mentally. That mental, uh, uh, what do you call it? That you go through the mental part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have counseling? Probably not, because and
No,
don't think, and don't think that this just happened in the Caribbean, honey. This is over here too. Sweep it
of
under
course,
the
I know
rug.
that.
Sweep it under the rug and keep
Yeah,
it
This
moving.
is all over. I speak to.
about anything. Yeah, you if it
I have
happens,
had conversation. I've had conversations with other friends, customers, or what have you. And the minute one open up, then it happened to 'em. I have a daughter, Sarah. She's 19, and I've spoken to her all the time and always encouraged her, if anything is uncomfortable with anyone, please share it with us. Don't have the mentality that you cannot. And even my boys also,
Oh
and of
yeah.
course, growing up in their teenage years and they kind of standoffish or whatnot, I talk to on the side individually, and I ask them the question, like, no, mommy, where you get that from? I said, I'm just checking. It's my responsibility. And I've shared with you, what happened to me as a child or what have you. So I've always been that parent that I would ask the question, and they just have to be okay with that.
Mhm. Yeah. I did have a question. I don't remember what my question was now, but for you to be such a beautiful person, have beautiful personality, I think that's an it how we're supposed to blossom out of things. One
Mm-hmm.
of the things you said that it was by steps. And that's what people realize, that healing is a
Mm-hmm.
steps, and that you do have to go through different phases of it, like you did. And for
Mm-hmm.
you to talk about it today, not even just today, but you've been talking about it now for a while, and to bring somebody else to the place to understand that you went through this, but it's okay. And what do I
Mm-hmm.
mean by that? Um, you don't have to go through by yourself. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to stay there. There's a lot of people that have gone through that have no understanding. They don't understand what it is. So their structure of their life is anger,
Mm-hmm.
hostility, because one, they don't trust anybody
Yeah.
because they went through that. Did you have a trust problem? Was that something you dealt with? Having trust.
Have trust for other men.
Well, yeah, other men.
I haven't had too much of those.
That was not a problem.
Yeah, yeah. My husband joke with me all the time. You was a good girl. Apparently, he did an investigation on me before he even, continued on. So um, no, no. But again, I kind of guarded myself. You know, my parents taught me everything else. You know, as a being a hardworking individual, not envying people for what they have. You don't know how they got it. Don't steal. You know, if you don't have something, you work for it, and so forth. You know, so those perimeters. I grew up in. But as far as my father, like I shared with you, my father always had this thing, you know, beware. In the islands, we say beware of Picanega boys. Picanega, that's just a term that is used. So every time when he used to say that, it's like I felt that I would just, you know, attention in my mind, in my veins. Once I heard that, it was like military and so forth, you know.
Mhm. Your dad wasn't in the military, was he?
No, he was not.
Yeah. Mhm.
But I knew when I heard these things or whatnot, you
Well,
know.
yeah, from authority.
Yeah, he haven't forgot that yet. He reminded me, and then
Okay.
I shut it back and I shut it back down. You know, I'm minding my business, doing my thing, and because he sees something, me talking to friends or whatnot, he brings that up, and it's like he's still talking about that, and okay, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, Wanda, if you have anything else to say. One of the things I thought about, and it's not so much you, but how even my portion in the anthology was The Secret of a Pastor's Wife, and how I had to forgive from that aspect, and how I had to begin to understand that we got a whole lot of secrets, and it's just not pastors' wives. It's not just pastors' wives. We have a lot of things we need to face and begin to be healed from for forgiveness. Forgiveness is a
Mhm.
very important part of our being. You have salvation. What do you do when you give your life to Elohim, Yahweh? You ask him for forgiveness. Forgive me for the things I have done. Who's
Yes.
Yeshua, um, Jesus? Forgive me for the things I have done. That's the first thing you're taught, forgiveness. And sometimes we will, and we do ask Him for forgiveness, but in the process of that, we still have to understand that we have to forgive others just as well. That it's not a one sided thing. I think a lot of times, I don't want to say, a lot of times we're taught, I'll say it that way, that you just have to ask for forgiveness and everything else will fall into place. No, it doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me, Wanda?
Yes, I can. She might be having technical difficulties. Can you hear us now, Miss Johanna? No, it sounds like she can't hear us.
Tap your mic. Let me see. Can you hear us now? I heard something. No? Huh. So, while she's figuring that out, we can continue to conversate.
Mm-hmm. Can she go out and come back in?
She probably will. She had to do that earlier before we came on. Can you hear us now? No, I keep hearing something. Go out and come back in.
Okay.
Oh, no, no, no. There you go. What
We
did
can
you
hear
do?
you now.
So,
Technology, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Before we came on, um, she couldn't. Oh, her screen went out.
Uh,
So
well, mine wouldn't even come on. So it must be a wonderful conversation that somebody needs to hear. But we were
yeah.
talking about secrets.
Yeah,
And
well, let me say this real quick before you go. I want to welcome everybody that's on. Thank you so much for being here. Take a moment and hit that like, subscribe, and share button so that you'll know when we go live. I appreciate each and every one of you taking time out of your busy morning to be here afternoon. If you're from the UK is on here today. Um, it's afternoon there now. So, and evening, wherever you're watching from, we want to say thank you for being here. All right.
we were talking about secrets. And one thing we are known for in our community are secrets. Um, what goes on in this house stays in this house.
Stays in this house.
And if something did happen, which is why we have a lot of trauma,
Right.
especially as children, and what has happened at the hands of other individuals, and why a lot of people didn't say anything because they've either watched it happen to someone else and they told and nothing was done, or they were blamed for what took place. And then when something happened to them, now I'm just going to keep it. Better not let nobody know but God, you know.
Right.
Um, that whole thing. There are so many stories of things that have happened to children, little girls, little boys, and they kept it to themselves. No one ever knew. And then some of them grew up, uh, had successful lives, but then there were mental things that were going on that affected them, affected their relationships, affected their marriages, friendships, and all of this because of what happened to them as children, and
Right.
not being able to tell or telling and nothing being done about it.
And this is the other part. Some of them are threatened by the one that defiles them.
Yes,
Tell somebody I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna
yes,
kill your family,
yes,
So
yes,
here you are holding this secret that is causing you to tear up on the inside. Just think if Johanna had held that, the sickness and the things that could have come up out of that did not, because she chose to let it go.
mhm.
And to see your you were the victim, to see your
Victimizer or Satan,
yeah, yeah,
really,
on a
because
consistent basis
yeah, because he lives right there,
next door.
right next door. You
And to
know,
have your father keep telling you,
you don't want
in other
what happened
words,
to you
keep your
before.
legs closed. That's what they
Mhm.
say. You
Basically,
know, yeah,
you don't want it to happen like it was her fault. You
right.
know, and
Mhm.
and she not even really understanding because of the age she was, not even really understanding what happened, and then to take her, like she said, they cleaned her up, and there was no consolation, there was no hug, love, baby, it's not your fault. I'm really surprised that dad didn't go and try to kill him, you know. Um, but different place, different culture, you know. Um, and then the whole thing again of this stays here. Don't talk about it anymore.
Honey,
And
I got many of beatings.
go on with your life.
We're not staying here. Many of whoopings
Yes.
were not staying here.
Mhm.
But even when you think about that, and because some parents, that's embarrassing to them,
It brings shame to
and
them. Yeah.
yeah, and sometimes, like you said, they've been through it. So because they've been through it, they don't want to deal with it themselves. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good, good, good. Glad you're back.
Yeah.
So we're just talking about the other side of it, how parents sometimes feel We think that,
Yes.
we don't understand that they're shameful. Oh my God, this happened. And they don't know how to deal with themselves, and they push it under the rug because that's what they was taught to do.
And I
Yeah.
love my parents, so I had to, even my forgiveness there, even at that young age, you know, it didn't dawn on me about even forgiving them or angry with them. I didn't have any
Right.
anger with them growing up and so forth. So I grew with that.
But later, after dealing with the memories of it, was there a level of forgiveness you had to have for your parents?
I think so. It did come into my mind, but it's always been embedded in me. So therefore, it wasn't hard. I look at my parents with such love. You know, I truly believe in honoring thy mother and thy father.
Yeah, that's good. I really just think that they
I
did
just thank
what,
God for His goodness.
yeah, yeah. I really think they just did what they felt was best, what they knew to do at the time. We're going to
At
deal
the
with
time.
this and keep pushing, don't talk about it, and go on. That was just what our parents did, And so Ashley has a question. She says,
Yeah.
does one achieve that type of forgiveness?
Not everyone does. And this is why we have to ask ourselves the question, what do you know, what do you want? Is this something you want to get over? Just those initial questions, because there are help out there. But again, as you shared earlier, there's level of traumas that we experience. So it all really depends on the individual and being able to reach for that help. And for us as individuals who have gone through or maybe see someone going through or what have you, to try our best, because there's only so much that we can do to offer help, to offer assistance, to lead that person who has gone through, to start a healing process.
Yeah. Having that support is everything. Having those that understand and don't turn their nose up at you, but willing
Mhm.
to pray and help you come through that is very important. That we have that, and as part of a community of believers, that's how we should be. We shouldn't. You don't need people that are self-righteous, that are looking at you some type of way to help. It really takes a person having the Father, having Yeshua Adonai on the inside of them, having this, and allowing the Spirit to talk to them.
Mhm.
In other words, it's compassion.
Yeah.
Gotta have compassion.
I know some individuals that, in their 60s right now, that just have not gotten over certain traumas that occur.
Right.
But yet won't try, just try one step at a time. But they just dwell so much in, what mommy did or this person did or this person was in there, and it has just affected their lives
Yeah. Yeah.
in their 60s,
Yeah.
going into their 70s.
Yeah.
Life is just passing them by.
Mhm.
Dreams died, relationships died, everything.
Yeah.
I know it happened, you know, to us physically, whatever the trauma was, but what power do we want to have? What power we want to reach for? At the end of the day, it's okay. We have a level of responsibility to us, to us. And I hope that doesn't sound harsh.
No, we do. We do. One thing I was thinking about, and I do want to let everybody know, she's very close to her father. She takes her father to church, she takes him to the
Yeah.
doctor. They do things. You're the only child, right?
Yes, my one and only sister, she passed at 23 diabetes, and I have my half brother. He is in Atlanta, Georgia, and he also helps out with daddy. So I'm just so grateful. He loves,
Okay. Okay.
yes, his stepdad. Yes,
That's why I
my mom
forgot about your
had
brother.
died 12 years ago. Yes,
Mhm.
so one of the things I've never said it out loud, but I always share with God that I pray to outlive my father
Mhm.
because I want to be here to. He's a strong. He's gonna be 80 years old in January. He's a strong 79-year-old. But I want to be here to take care of my father. So I said, Daddy God, the things that I'm doing now and the things that I'm reaching for in my business, I would give it all up. I would give it all up to be here for my father and for you to grant me that my father goes before me because I want to take care of my dad and make sure he's okay. But my parents, they're very to themselves also. I mean, go to church, have his friends or what have you, but just a simple life I grew up in.
Simple life. Yeah. And
Hmm.
that's good. That's good that you honor your parents.
Hmm.
You love your parents.
He's a handful. He's a handful.
Yeah,
You
that's where
know.
she gets it from.
Yeah, okay, yeah. My husband kind of says that a little bit.
Yeah. So thank you so much for being here today. Wonder if you have anything else.
He was actually walking around, so I don't
I
know
was
where.
getting ready to say, I was gonna
Yeah,
ask
girl. So I'll let you know. I'll call you later and let you know because he was in the kitchen over there. I have my little mini studio here and everything. So I don't know when I get off of here, he's gonna be like, "What kind of conversation you having on the phone with them people? What you telling them people on the phone? You know,
oh gosh.
yeah. So we'll see."
I was getting ready to say you gotta cook breakfast or something when you get up, but he's in there fixing his own, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. He'll come and ask me. Usually, sometime when I'm doing a live or an interview, he will come on the side. You want some fish? You want some soup? You know,
I
yeah.
love it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting ready to fry some Johnny cake and chicken. You want some? I'm like, dude, I told you when I came here, I'm doing an interview. Yeah, so he's
I
just,
don't care nothing about that.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
God.
Our parents back in the day, they're like, as they say, as the young people say, they are off the chain.
Yeah,
That's my daddy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But I respect him to the fullest, though,
We
at the
see
end of
that.
the day.
Yeah,
Yeah. I appreciate that.
yeah.
Before we close out, Miss Wanda, you was
I
gonna
just,
say something.
yeah, I just want to say that you are such an inspiration, and if we had the perfect example of today what forgiveness looks like and how that should be walked out, that would be you. Uh, just beautiful heart, beautiful soul, and even your process of forgiving being starting when you were young, to
Hmm.
the fact that you even thought about taking him some food, um, I just think it's a beautiful story, and even the honor that you have for your parents and the love that you have for your parents. And like you said, most people would have been like the hurt and the bitterness they have because they're holding so many things against people. Your example of how you handled this whole situation is inspiration to all of us. And I just want to say thank you, um, because it was amazing to hear your story. It was amazing to see Yahweh's protection over you as a child up until
Hmm.
this very day. I have never seen someone tell their story with so much peace, so much peace. And
Thank you.
that's all because of his love and protection for your life and your destiny. He knew what you needed to be able to go through life. And I'm grateful for that. And so thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Leslie, Miss Rhonda, if you let me, just say this. I feel like God is compelling me to say this, that to another woman who may be listening, our backpacks need to be rechecked. Our backpacks needs to be cleaned out, because for the things that God has for us is far more better. And we have heard stuff like this. And I'll use myself as an example. Again, I said earlier, if I could manage my business from behind closed doors, that's what I would do. Never did I thought I would be in beauty. I just wanted to just step out and sell fashion accessory and create my own line and so forth. That's the hard desire of mine, to create my own fashion and accessory line, and I'm getting closer and closer to that. Never did I thought that I would be, speaking on stages. My knees buckling even to this day, but I talk to fear whenever it comes up. And I recently spoke in Detroit, and I have developed like this pattern that every time I have to speak, as I'm walking, I'm being introduced, but yet I'm walking to the stage and I am saying, God, Holy Spirit, my assigned angel, as Alicia Johnson has shared with us in the 1212 and the Always Journal. My assigned angels walk with me, come with me. And I walk up there and I invite the Holy Spirit, Heavenly Father, and I invite my assigned angels. So we have to just be mindful for us to just experience joy. And even more than ever, we are seeing what is going on in the world right now, and we don't know the time of the hour. And God has something for us. And if we look at other individuals, God bless them, pray for them all the time. There are other women out there that don't have the opportunities like some of us who are here dwelling and holding on to who did what or what have you. We need to look at those women who can't. So we have to appreciate what we have and what God has for us, and to, look at our backpack and see what we're carrying, to enjoy all of God's goodness. So when I see all of these things that are happening now, it's because I made a decision. I was obedient. I had that desire to heal. I want to heal. I want to have a clear mind for this journey moving forward.
Amen. Well,
Health and strength.
yeah, appreciate it so much. If you go to her Instagram, you'll see her beautified all over, dancing and just so free. And in the chat, in the description, is
I'll be 50 years old next April. Leslie and I share birthdays together.
We're a day apart.
I'm the 22nd. Yep. So I'm on my way to my 50th. So today, November 12th, at what time is it? 11:02. I'm 49. I'm not gonna be 49 again after this moment. And things do happen in life. I do have my moments. I do have my downtime, but I know how to just sit still, journal, cry out. But I have it in me to bounce back up. So enjoying the moments of life more than ever. Pay attention to all what's going on around us. Enjoy the moments. Cry when you have to, journal when you have to, scream when you have to, but we do not have to stay there.
Don't have to stay there, and
Don't
we're
have
not
to
going to. Yeah. So thank you so much, Miss Johanna D. Samuels. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate our friendship.
Yes,
I appreciate. Look, if I don't call her, she get mad, and she'll call me and tell me, "Yo,
Miss Leslie, me here for you in a long time. You know I ain't sitting down in the drawers watching my Christmas movie. I said,
my
Leslie.
God." All year long, she watching Christmas movies.
Oh, I love it.
All year long. And we won't tell the secret of that, but all year long, she's probably going to go watch some now. I don't know if she has anything else to do, but that is on her that's her downtime. That's her downtime.
And journaling.
Looks
Journaling and writing the vision and making it plain.
Will you start that jewelry line now? I love jewelry. Please.
Right now, I'm a buyer. Right now, I'm a buyer. But my goal is to design my own pieces, and I share with Miss Leslie. Opportunities have presented itself, so please keep me in your prayer. I just want to design beautiful jewelry and connect them to special causes and stuff like that for women.
Yeah.
because God did this with the ministry. God allowed me to have my own way of ministry through my fashion accessory business. Because believe you me, I have been in positions that I'm beautifying women in the mirror, but it always 95% of the time is always deeper, and it always leads to such conversations and so forth. So
Yeah.
accessory has been my vessel.
Yep, and I have that in the chat. I mean, in the description as well. You can go to her store and see
Okay.
what she has. She buys the best stones. She's not making just junk. She's really making sure that you get
Yeah.
what you pay
So
for.
right now I'm a buyer, but I'm gonna design my own. I'm calling it
Yeah,
existence.
Yes.
Yes.
that's right. Not that far away. Not that far away. So
Thank you.
listen, thank you so much. Like I said, I love you.
Nice
Uh,
meeting you, Miss Rhonda. Love you too.
uh,
Nice to meet you as well. I'll
look,
be following. You'll see me.
yes,
Don't be surprised. I'll be inboxing you now. Just say, hey, Miss Rhonda, how are you
she
doing?
will.
This is
Please.
like, you know, something I feel like, am I setting myself up is like my mom, I take into everybody and so forth. But you know, we
I
all
was
have to
on
be
your page
careful.
last night stalking you.
I was on yours too. I was on yours too because I said, Miss Leslie, I thought you was gonna be interviewing me, Miss Rhonda.
Like,
So girl, I was
Miss
praying
Rhonda
last
Floyd.
night this morning. I'm like, God, please let Miss Rhonda be a nice host. Because I thought it was gonna be me and Miss Leslie, you know, but you know me, I'm from the Caribbean. So she asks any weird question, I'ma just say whatever.
She will.
I thought that was nice, Miss
I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, go to both of their both of their um, pages. I have put both of their information in the description. You want to know anything about hair? That's your girl right there. She will take the time to help you and get you on the right track. I need to get on the right track.
So
But
funny because somebody's already asking me about your hair, Miss Johanna.
Oh
yeah.
my
Oh,
Oh, you know what? Yeah, well, you know, I have a pixie cut, right? So,
Yeah.
you know, I found this new hairdresser, Miss Natasha, dazzling here in the Virgin Islands. I mean, she spends hours in the hair now, but otherwise, yes, I've been playing with stuff, but I'm missing my pixie up or whatnot. But y'all, I made a decision. Come next year, God spare my life, I think I'm gonna play around with weave. So y'all might see me with some
are
long
you?
hair planted to the side, you know, maybe some white hair, but I probably just weave it in. You know, hey, I'm 50. The kids are
Hey,
older. You
go
know, I'll
for
put in
it.
some time in
Go
this
for it.
marriage. They were my husband for 30 years. That was my time. Oh my gosh.
Yes, live. The hair helps you live. So get you
Yeah.
some. Yes.
Yes. And it's so becoming. It's so
Yeah.
becoming. So thank you so much. I think I said that about 10 times now, but this has been good. I
Yeah.
appreciate you being here,
I'm
Johanna.
kind of nervous to get off though. I'm gonna try and sneak. I'm trying to get all my bags together quietly and go through the back door. Because there is a chance my dad might say, what nonsense you're on the phone talking to them people about? What me and your mother do? You know, I'm serious. I'm nervous, but I'll let you know, Leslie.
Well, we're praying for you. It's gonna be well. It's gonna be well.
Yeah. You guys have a good day.
Yes. So everybody, we love you. Thank you so much for being here. If you did not hit the like, share, or subscribe, please do it before you go off. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you next Sunday as well. I did not look to see who I have this week or this next Sunday. Next Sunday. I can't remember,
I
but
think it's Dr. Mathis.
oh yeah, it is. I was thinking about her today. Yes, it is. Dr. Mathis will be back with us, and we look forward to having her. We've had a great time today. We have a great time with her, and I really look forward to it. Listen, as you go through your day, you heard what Johanna said. You won't get this day back, so live it to the best of your abilities and be
Yes.
happy. That's your choice. We could choose to be sad or we could choose to be happy. So I want you to go out today, hold your head up. Remember, whatever you're going through, it will pass.
Amen.
Life will still be life. when
Mm.
it passes.
Yeah.
So enjoy your day, and we love you. But most of all, Yeshua, God
love you
loves you
more.
more. And there's nothing, we can't love you the way he can.
Mhm.
So give him the opportunity to love on you so that you can experience that peace that you see Johanna has.
Yes.
Have an amazing day. Talk to you soon.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.